That's right. I definitely agree. I think it's probably going to be a low-scoring game, but only time will tell. On the bump for the Hokies to start things off is left-handed pitcher Jake Marciano. The first Tar Heel hitter that he's going to be facing is Kane Kepley, number 27, who's going to be in center field for the Tar Heels tonight. Kepley bats an average of 2.22 against left-handed pitchers, as he's going to take the first offering from Marciano for a strike, now sitting 0-1 in the count. But in the leadoff position, Kepley bats an average of 477, so definitely a very strong hitter to start off for the Tar Heels. As Marciano winds up the second throw, that one's going to be fouled off behind home plate. So Kepley now sitting 0-2 in the count.
Kepley had 2 hits on 4 at-bats yesterday, walked once, and scored 3 of the times he was on base. Pretty good outing yesterday, and we'll see if he does that here at 0-2.
The 0-2, that one's going to be popped high down left field, going to go foul. So Kepley going to remain in the batter's box, now facing a 1-2 count. Now Marciano, just a freshman, but he's been having a pretty good season with the Hokies. He has a 4-1 win-loss average. He's pitched 40 innings for the Hokies, as the 1-2 is going to be low and outside for ball 2.
Marciano has been the great second-hand man for the Hokies. I mean, Renfro's our main starter for the Hokies, but then Marciano comes out in game 2, and he usually has a pretty good outing.
The 1-2. That one's going to be just outside. Brings the count even on Kepley. Marciano not sitting in a bad start. Got ahead in the count early on. Kepley's now evened it up at 2-2. Marciano hoping to not give the Tar Heels any early momentum, as Kepley's going to foul that offering off.
Marciano's got to stay headstrong right now. Has 6 pitches to the at-bat. A lot of foul balls. Got to be a very frustrating, but you got to get that first out to get the momentum going for Marciano.
Now, as you mentioned earlier, Brett Renfro got the Hokies off to a decent start yesterday. Marciano hoping to do the same. Hopefully going to go at least 5 innings and maintain that defensive advantage for the Hokies here. As the 2-2, that one's just outside, going to be ball number 3.
Like you said, Marciano probably needs to pitch quite a few innings after giving a lot of pitchers yesterday. His highest innings pitched was almost full 7 innings against Notre Dame. His highest strikeouts in a game is 9 so far this season.
The 3-2. That one's going to be swung on and missed, tipped down into the catcher.
8 pitches at bat. Great for Kane Kepley to fight and battle, but very frustrating, I'm sure, for Jake Marciano. We got 2 southpaw pitchers on the mound today for UNC and Virginia Tech. Should be a fun one as we still await our first out of the game.
Kane Kepley doing well to fight back. Now sitting at a full count. And this is definitely a challenge for Marciano. Kepley standing only at 5'8", has a much smaller strike zone. As we've seen Marciano kind of struggle to find his way into that strike zone as he prepares for the 3-2. The full count pitch. That one's going to be tipped foul. So Kepley staying alive at the plate. An interesting start for UNC and for the Hokies. This is a definitely extended first at bat. Not really the momentum you want as a hitter, although staying alive at the plate is definitely better than getting the first out of the game. I'm sure Marciano is definitely getting frustrated at this moment, hoping to get that first out of the way. Here comes the 3-2. That one's going to be lined through the hole. It drops for a base hit. So the Tar Heels are aboard first. You can see Kepley getting fired up after a very long at-bat. He's now on first, and that's going to bring up number 6, Jackson Vandebrake, the second baseman for the Tar Heels tonight.
A great headstrong at bat for Kepley. Played at Liberty for 2 seasons. In high school, he was named 2022 NCBACA 3A All-State team. A very good player coming from Salisbury, North Carolina.
Vandenbrink is a veteran with the Tar Heels. Last season, he scored the game-tying run in the regional championship against LSU. Definitely a strong bat for the Diamond Heels. Marciano hoping to regain some control here as he throws the first offering to Vandenbrink. That one's going to get away from catcher Henry Cook, and that's going to be ball number 1 on Vandenbrink. Now, we saw Marciano pitch in the last game we called together against Georgia Tech. He has a really good head on his shoulders. Only a freshman, but we watched him get himself out of quite a jam, and he never really seemed to lose focus or get very flustered. 5 seconds left on the pitch clock, and he's going to chase Kepley back to first. So Vandenbrink still 1-0 in the count.
Yeah, like you said, very headstrong. I mean, we look at it now. I mean, Georgia Tech's one of the better teams in the ACC. Got a lot of hitting power. So the fact that he was early on in his Virginia Tech career, first ACC game for him, and he had a really strong outing. See if he gets another one against UNC, a top 15 team.
As the 1-0, going to find the strike zone, brings the count even at 1 on Vandenbrink. Marciano starting to get some confidence, a little bit of momentum on the mound. 5 seconds left on the pitch clock. Again, he's going to chase off Kepley back to first. Our first baseman tonight for the Hokies is going to be number 3, Anderson French. At second, you have number 18, Henderson Lutterman. Shortstop is going to be Clay Grady. At third base is number 39, David Lewis. And then left to right in the outfield, you got Ben Watson, Cam Pittman, and Sam Tackett. And then, of course, behind the plate, going to be Henry Cook. Count still 1-1 on Vandenbrink as Marciano chases Kepley back to first.
Marciano only gets players on base about 31% of the time, with giving up only 42 hits on 13 walks so far this season.
As the 1-1 going to be fouled off over our heads. Count moves 1-2 on Vandenbrink. Vandenbrink is a right-handed hitter, and so far this season, Marciano has been holding right-handed batters to an average of 271. The 1-2. That one's going to be popped high and foul, once again going over the roof. Heard that one drop. I'm not sure where that landed.
Not far from us. It was straight in the air. Looks like it got in between the gap and didn't hit nobody, thankfully. Jackson Vandenbrink's a cool name. I mean, they gotta have some kind of awesome nickname for him in the dugout.
I know, I'm like intrigued to see what it is. So we've got a lot of Tar Heel fans in the stadium here at English Field. I wonder if we'll hear some nicknames being shouted out as the 1-2 going to be popped high into right field. Under it with the catch, and out number 1 going to be Sam Tackett. That was an awesome catch from Tackett. Saw him charging in from right field.
Looks like the wind picked up just at the wrong time for Tackett and had to jump over at the last second to catch that ball. Wind should be a little bit of a factor, and maybe not too bad. The weather's looking pretty good, low 80s, very cloudy. And it looks like the wind is coming towards the third base side. Maybe pull a home run to the left field, but it's going to be hard to hit a home run for all the lefty hitters in the right field. They're going to have to swing pretty late to get one over the wall.
Now up at the plate for the Tar Heels going to be number 44, Luke Stevenson, the Tar Heels catcher, as the first offering going to be low for ball 1. So Stevenson 1-0 in the count. Tar Heels have 1 out on the board, but they still have Kepley aboard first. Five seconds left on the pitch clock. Marciano going to chase Kepley back to first. Now, as you said, the weather not as big of a factor as Georgia Tech when we called that game together. As the 1-0 going to be popped high and foul over the UNC dugout. Count moves 1-1 on Stevenson. It's honestly a very beautiful day here in Blacksburg. I think the first 80-degree day we've had this spring. Certainly spring baseball weather. Kind of the perfect weather for a nice Easter weekend.
For sure, it's about time we get some good weather out here.
As the 1-1. That one's going to be popped high into left center field. Back at the wall. Did he get it? He did! Ben Watson over the wall to make the catch. That's going to be out number 2. Great effort from Watson. Had to jump up at the wall to make the catch.
A standing ovation from the Hokies. That'll get them riled up. It's going to be a great bottom of the half, it seems like, now that the fans are finally engaged. The UNC fans are quiet over here. It's going to be, we might have a little battle of the fans going on in this matchup, as last night UNC took a easy win late in the game. Maybe we'll get a good Omaha feeling like we will later in the next few months for college baseball playoff.
Now at the plate for the Diamond Heels is going to be number 5, Gavin Gallagher. He's going to be the third baseman for the Tar Heels tonight. 2 outs on the board for the Tar Heels. Kepley still aboard first as Marciano going to turn his attention towards Kepley, chase him back to first. Now you mentioned Omaha. Tonight's game is very important for the Hokies after getting swept by FSU last weekend. They really want to get back into the win column to secure their chance at making it to the playoffs. As the first offering to Gallagher, going to be out. Cook throws it down to Letterman at second, but Kepley too fast for the Hokies. He is safely aboard second as the count is now 0-1 on Gallagher.
Gallagher's got an athletic family. His father was a 4-year letterman and assistant baseball coach at Wake Forest. His brother played football at South Carolina and Campbell, and then his sister played sand volleyball at UNC Williamsburg.
Gallagher was also selected as the most outstanding player in the NCAA Chapel Hill Regional after a walk-off grand slam in the team's opening round over LSU last season. Count is now 0-2 on Gallagher. Again, 2 outs on the board, but they now have Kepley in scoring position at second base. Hoping to repeat a little bit of last night's success. Got a run early on in the top of the first. Would love to get that again to build that momentum. The 0-2. That one's just high and outside. Count moves 1-2 on Gallagher. Five seconds left on the pitch clock. Marciano fires it off the 1-2 to be just high. Gallagher standing at 6'1", definitely has a much larger strike zone than Kepley. Marciano trying to target that top corner of the strike zone, just missed it on that last pitch. Count is now even at 2 on Gallagher. As the 2-2 going to be swung on and missed. That's going to be out number 3, and that's going to wrap up the top of the first. Marciano moves the Hokies through that seamlessly. We'll be right back with the bottom of the first. It's Phoebe Winters and Pierce McKnight on the call.